So, hey CSM, I'm realizing this is really close to my face right now. So, I had to get some work done on my car, and so that's all done. It's one of those things about being an adult, so you have to deal with that. But so Trudy's still working at this point, and I need to get it. So I'm taking a walk. I'm actually walking my way there. Makes you really appreciate different things, you know, that like vehicles and air conditioning. But it's a nice day. So know that I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. Hope you have a good day. Love you.
Hey CSM, it's Rebecca. I just wanted to share one of the things my family has been doing to keep busy during these crazy times. We have been having a lot of campfires, and during those campfires, I love looking at the stars. They shine through the good days and the bad days. And that's a constant reminder that God is with us, good days and bad days, and He will never quit on us. Just like the stars will never quit shining. I hope you're having a great week, and I can't wait till we meet soon. Bye!
Hey CSM students, what is up? Hope you guys are doing well and enjoying summer. I am out on a hike today with my kiddos and my sister-in-law and nieces and nephews, and we are up kind of by Green Bay, and this is where we are right now. And it is amazingly beautiful. We're having fun, and there's the kiddos, and we just stopped for a snack and we hiked down a river, and it is awesome. So I hope you guys are having just as much fun this summer. I miss you. I hope you're doing well, and we'll talk to you later.
This is what goes on here at Community Church. Who's gonna win the tug of war? Hey! What is going on, everybody? Did you like that sample of what a typical day or a non-typical day at Community Church can look like? That was Aaron Klemp, who had gotten stuck in the, well, when it rains here, like it gets really soggy over in those ditch areas, and he got stuck in the tractor, and then he tried pulling out with a different tractor. That didn't work. So then Joe went and got his, I call it the hamster car. And then Aaron hooked that up, and I was not sure which was going to win. I thought the tractor was just going to pull his car back, but we got it out. It was a great day of getting lawnmowers unstuck. And so special extra shout out. I think my kids are watching right now. Hey, Ivy and Grayson. They're getting ready for bed, and Mama said that they could tune in for a little bit, and so they are really excited. I think they're at home on the couch watching on TV. So I'm at church because the Wi-Fi is better here. And if you remember when we first started this thing, I tried it in my basement, and it didn't work out so well. So maybe I'll get a fun video of them for next week to add in, because I think a long time ago somebody requested them singing. So maybe we'll try to do something like that. I thought I'd start it off with a really random would you rather. Would you rather never be able to speak again or say everything that is on your mind? I think I would rather be stuck saying everything that is on my mind. And I'm assuming in this one that you wouldn't be able to always say it gracefully or with kindness. I think it's just like you just kind of vomit out whatever's on your mind. But at least then people know what's going on, and we're not walking around trying to convince people that we're not upset when we really are upset because we would just say it. So I don't know. Everybody like this video right now. Like this video. If I couldn't talk, I wouldn't be able to talk to my besties, and I wouldn't be able to talk about some of the things I'm going through. That is true. If you could never speak again, I mean, you could write things down, and obviously you could learn sign language and things like that. But yes, communication would be much more difficult, especially if you've never learned sign language. But Anna and Kelsey are learning sign language, so that was fun. They did a shout out video in sign language a couple weeks ago, so it's never too late to start learning new things. Tonight I have another hot seat with one of our seniors, and then I did go back to the Blazing Wings. I did decide to have a glass of milk. I actually had 2 glasses of milk this time because last time I did water, and water, I guess, makes it worse, and so that's why it felt a lot more insane. So this time I used a little milk, but I did it with Carissa Lampy, so that was fun, and that'll be coming to you soon. And then this week's Voices is from our very own Brian Wood, who is going to talk about what it looks like to worship, and it's very good. So I'm very excited for you guys to hear that. Just checking this out on the chat real quick to see what you guys are saying. I know how to sign the entire God Bless the USA song. That's actually really cool, Felicity. Sweet. Felicity, did you like, what candy did I give you? Did I give you, I think I gave you Skittles. Were the Skittles pretty good? That one was a hard one to give up because Skittles and Starburst, those are my 2 favorite like fruity kind of candies. And so I bought 2 big bags of those, and I did not want to give them away, but I hope you enjoyed Skittles. They're awesome. Chocolate's always a sketchy one to leave. I will not leave things in mailboxes anymore. Okay, people, I've learned my lesson. Except I didn't quite learn my lesson because I still dropped, I think, Faith, was it yours that I still dropped off in a mailbox? So we'll just see, you know, but hopefully none of you decide to report me, and hopefully the mail police are not watching this so I don't get in trouble. The Reese's were great. That was, so for chocolate, that is my favorite one. I buy my favorites and then I give it away. So it feels like I'm sharing some of my favorite things in life with you guys. The big prize last week, Isaac decided on, was some CSM swag. So I'm going to be getting him that. That was for the big draw, the monthly draw. So that was exciting for him. He's going to, I think he picked a CSM sweatshirt, which is ironic because we talked about sweatshirts in our poll last week. So cool. Also going to be looking at some new CSM merch for the fall. And so if you guys have, like, if you've seen something that you really like and you're like, oh, this design is really cool, let me know. Because we can kind of mock up or mimic other things, other designs and stuff. And so I want to make the store filled with things that you guys would want to buy. And I'll probably actually start doing the store in church, so it's just easier for you guys to do it. You can fill out a card or whatever. I can order it. We'll figure it out. Cool. July is coming. Just a reminder, we are not going to be doing CSM Live in July. I know, so sad, but we are most likely going to be doing an event at the church. I'm not sure, probably just like barbecue hangout kind of a thing. And so it'll be sweet. We'll do something in person, maybe a couple things. We'll just kind of see what July looks like. Trudy, what? I know. But guys, who would be so excited to hang out in person? I would. I think that would be awesome. Sad Life Fest did just get canceled. Although I were talking about this. Like there are 3 tiers of people, I feel like, in a pandemic. The green people who are like, green light, I'll go, I don't care, I'll do whatever. The yellow people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a little cautious. And the red people who are like, yeah, I'll probably leave my house in the next year. And I kind of fall in the yellow tier. And so I wouldn't have done Life Fest, but there are probably people who would have done Life Fest and been like, yes, I'm going. It's outside. I don't care. And that's cool. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion and way of doing things. But I fall into that yellow category. My fam was yellow. I'm a greenie. Alex, you're a greenie. Now we're like bright green. That's funny. That should have been my question. What are you guys? Maybe I'll try to change the poll in the next video and I'll say, what category are you? You're definitely, I feel like most students are probably green because I see on Instagram that nobody is really, I mean, other than like things being closed, you guys are all still hanging out and doing stuff. So I get it. And we're still doing stuff too. We're just doing it a little bit more cautiously. So my kids are really excited for the pool to open, which I don't think is ever going to open. And I'm not going to take them there. Sorry, kids, this summer anyway. But we're going to go to my parents. We're going to go to my parents' house, and they have a pool, and the kids are really excited about that. And so the Kramers also were gifted a pool. And so everyone just go over to the Kramers, just show up there and go swimming in their pool. The overseers are in a meeting down there, and Carl's in the meeting, and so he won't even know. You guys just show up, and he'll just be so excited. Malcheski's have a pool. All right, well, we'll come over there. And Larson's have a pool. This is great. Well, and you're red, but you have a pool, but you're red, so we can't come over. All right, that's cool. We'll just figure out who all has the pools, and since we can't go to public pools, we'll just come your way. What else is going on? What else? Are you guys looking forward to anything over the summer? My mom's gonna kill me. Yeah, well, I mean, so that's one of the things too. Like, I mean, we do things outside, and we're trying to keep just everything out of the house, I guess, when we have people over. I mean, it's inevitable that some people have to use the bathroom, but we're trying to do more hangouts outside. So you just came back from Montana? That's like one of my top places that I want to go sometime. Did you go camping? Montana sounds amazing and it looks beautiful. I would love to check out Montana. Yeah, parks are great. We're probably, we'll do my parents' pool. I don't know what we'll do. Like, we like going for bike rides. The kids are really enjoying bike rides. We just got Grayson a bike, so it's no longer the tricycle. It's actually a little mini bike with training wheels. And so he can't quite get on it himself, but he can cruise around and then he can get off. So it's just funny because he needs help getting on. And then if he gets stuck, because I don't know, you guys obviously don't remember training wheels, but if you find like the perfect spot on the pavement, the training wheels are there, but then it kind of lifts the tire up and it just spins. And so it's really funny because then they get stuck and they can't go anywhere. So, how many of you guys have crazy cotton going on in your backyard? I don't know, from the cotton trees, because I see that Spencer, you're talking about allergies. We have like our front yard has some cotton, but it must be on the other side of our fence because it just blows in and our whole backyard just looks like it's covered in snow. And when I'm home, I'm just like itchy eyes and sneezing. And it's crazy. It makes my allergy. I feel like even if you don't have allergies, it makes your allergies go crazy. So you have crazy amount of cotton. Yeah, I know. It's just crazy. But guys, we're gonna take a quick break here because I'm gonna play the hot seat video with Carissa Lampe. She graduated this year, a couple weeks ago. Amaro graduated, and so I've been trying to do hot seat or voices with seniors. And so this was her way. Brant, if you remember Brant last week, we did the spicy ramen. We went back to the Buffalo Wild Wings this week, and so you guys can watch me sweat it out. All right, here we go. Yay, Carissa. All right, here we are, CSM with another hot seat with
Carissa
Lampe, a graduating senior. And so if you remember last time, Brant picked spicy ramen and it wasn't really spicy. So I just said, hey, let's go back to wings. And so I did. I went back to Blazin' and my face is already sweating just thinking about it. Carissa, what did you get? She picked hot. She is the first student to pick something actually spicy. Sorry, are you ready to do this thing? Do you want to cheers the camera? Even though she's sitting right next to me, it's spoiler alert, but it's just kind of easier this way. All right, cheers. Don't actually touch it, COVID. All right, I'm gonna take a bite and then I'm gonna choke and then we're gonna jump into some questions. All right, you ready? It's so hot. And that was a huge bite. Holy cow. I got milk this time. Some of you told me that water was a bad choice. Oh my goodness. How are the hot?
That's not hot.
Not that hot, she said. All right. If I start throwing up, oh, the hiccups are already coming. They came last time too. All right. I'm going to try to just do these rapid fire. You have to deal with my hiccups. All right, ready? One word answers. Favorite color?
Yellow.
Animal?
Sloth.
Sloth. Favorite fruit?
Strawberry.
Vegetable?
Broccoli.
I already sipped the milk. Candy?
Milk duds.
Milk duds. I love milk duds. How about dessert?
Ice cream, probably.
How about this? We're going to do this or that. Would you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning or night?
Night.
Mountains or oceans?
Mountains.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Yeah, hot. This is my favorite. Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Salty. All right. I am an ice cream sweet kind of guy. All right. Got to regain my composure. If you could have dinner, you could have dinner with a person, past, present, or future of your choice, who would you pick and why?
Probably my aunt, because I was like the daughter she never had.
Okay. And where would you go to dinner? Red Lobster, isn't that like one of your favorites or no? That's just where you went for your birthday?
That's just where I didn't even pick it. Probably noodles.
Okay. Noodles with your aunt because she's one of your favorites.
Yeah.
I like that. And getting into a little bit more of you, how many siblings do you have?
3.
3. And what number are you?
2.
Okay. What's your favorite childhood memory?
I don't know. There were a lot of times that I hurt Xavier.
You hurt him?
Yep.
Like physically or emotionally?
I've been the reasons for a couple stitches.
Stitches! Did you get in big trouble?
Yeah.
All right. So that kind of segues into a time you got in really big trouble, probably for giving your brother stitches. So would you say you were more like your mom or your dad?
That's really hard. I'm like a lot like both, but probably my mom.
What makes you more like your mom?
I don't know. We like a lot of the same foods, whereas my dad is picky. He's the chicken tender kind of guy.
He's my kind of guy. So he probably wouldn't do these spicy wings. I'm plowing through them. Who would you say is a role model in your life? You can say me, it's okay.
I mean, Carl's a pretty good role model too. You and Carl, both.
That's the brownie point answer. All right, but is that what you would really say?
Yeah.
Carl, you had him pretty much your whole youth group? From middle school to high school?
Yeah, for the first 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. Carl's awesome. He's a great role model. This is we're going to get a little bit more exciting. You graduated, congratulations. What does this next season of life look like for you? Anything in college?
Yeah, Ripon College. I don't really want to go, but I suppose I should at least try college, see what it's like. And that starts August 17th. So.
All right. So Ripon College. What would you say you're passionate about? Whether it's something you're pursuing in school or just in general, like what are you passionate about?
I don't know. I really like music though.
Singing, you're a very talented singer. Do you play an instrument?
I'm trying to learn guitar and ukulele.
Are you doing okay with yours? Are you feeling hot over there?
Like, as of right now, yes.
The milk actually helps, but I'm like sweating really bad. Oh, this is a fun one because you have a boyfriend. What is a deal breaker in a relationship?
Like, what would break it?
Yeah.
Probably being a hypocrite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So saying one thing but then doing another.
Yeah, or like getting mad at me for doing the same thing that you're doing.
That's fair. All right. All right. So what dating advice would you have then for students looking to date right now?
Probably dating somebody that can be there for you emotionally.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Someone who can walk through life and understand the things you're going through. It's very important. I gotta switch to fries for a second. It's hard to even think when you're sweating this much. All right, getting a little deeper, what attribute of God would you say you can identify most with? Like something about God that you relate to most?
Probably forgiveness.
You find it's easy to forgive people?
Yeah, it's really easy for me to forgive people.
That is awesome. Because I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with. Is that they hold on to things and they don't want to forgive or forget. So it's a really powerful attribute to have. All right, so what do you find hardest to believe in your faith?
Probably just believing that, God is real sometimes, because there are things you can see that are real. So it just makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah, I get that. You're not physically walking with God, and so sometimes it's hard to feel like you're in a relationship because you don't actually physically have him next to you. I get that. What has God been teaching you? Do you feel like in this season he's been teaching you something?
Probably a lot of patience, with everything that's been going on.
As a graduating senior, any last thoughts or advice that you would give to people going through middle school and high school?
Probably, don't let what people think of you get in the way of you doing new things or doing things you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like for me in high school, that was something I struggled with, is always what people thought of me. And it would prevent me from trying things because I was worried about what they're going to say. So don't do that. Go be you and don't let anybody stop you. You heard it from Carissa. All right. Thank you for doing the hot seat challenge with me. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to share?
No.
All right. Well, congratulations on graduating. Thank you for doing this one last thing with me. It's sad to see you go, but Rippon's not that far away. So, cheers. Could you guys see it in my eyes? Could you see the pain? I feel like I don't struggle with heartburn, but today, every time I burp, I still taste those wings. It was blazing. I made it through 5 of them this time. Last time I only made it through 3 because, yes, I did not do it correctly. I drank water, which you're not supposed to do, and this time I sipped milk, and so I was able to eat 5. But that first bite, no joke, it was like the whole meat came off the bone, which I wasn't prepared for. And so it just oh man, it filled all my sinuses. And Carissa, yeah, she laughed at me the entire time. But thanks, Carissa, for doing it. That was fun. I saw some of you were talking about wings in here, so it looks like I'll have to go back and see who's going to be doing the hot seat. I think it'd be really fun to do that in person too. Like on stage as one of the icebreakers, except it's not an it's like a heat breaker. I don't know what you call it, but having you guys come up and then we have just a plate of wings in the middle, but then you all have to do blazing. So maybe that's the kicker. When we do it live, there'll just be a bowl. And if you want to participate, you just got to jump in and have blazing. I'm curious about Apple and Android. And I guess you could even say, we can even take it one step further and say, Apple or Mac versus PC PC or Windows, because I'm just curious how people enjoy their technology. I grew up with a PC, Windows, and didn't really know any better. And then when I first discovered, I think in college, I got an Apple laptop, and it was like, oh, it just makes more sense to me in my brain. And so I don't know. And then I still had a Android phone for like the longest time. And then I switched to Apple because I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then I lived in Australia for a couple of years. Good day, might. And I decided there to buy a used iPhone and couldn't go back. It just, now my life is forever Apple. And we're doing the church live stream stuff, and I've actually been looking into a PC, a Windows, for some of the actual like uploading, because they're cheaper and you can build them to be very fast. So that's my fun fact for the day about why I chose Apple versus Android. Alex, I see that you said boneless and we have a deal. I guess I would be willing to let you do boneless as long as you eat it with your hands, because I feel like that's where like the grossness of the video kicks in. Because you're just like, I looked back and I had like a piece on my lip for the whole video, and so I was just part of the charm. Android allows for cut. Yes. So I would say that is 100% correct, Alex. If you know how to tweak and you like enjoying tweaking things, Android and Windows are very good for customization, and Mac has just a very good and friendly interface that's very easy to use right off the bat. So I want to live in Alaska because it's cold. Yep. Lena, you can go join Brant. He's in Alaska. He made it. He is, from what I can tell on Instagram and Facebook, doing good. You have to write him letters. It'd actually be cool if you guys know Brant at all and want to handwrite a letter to him. I know he'd really appreciate the encouragement, because I think for 3 months he doesn't get phone. I don't even know if he gets email, but I do know that he doesn't get his phone like for texting and stuff because they're so remote. So let me know if you're interested, and I will find out his address because I'm going to write one. Although I wrote him in his graduation card, and then I asked him if he could read it, and he said his mom had to read it to him because my handwriting is so bad. So maybe I'll like type my letter out and then still mail it. It's awful. It's really bad. As I wrote his like graduation card, I was laughing to myself because I couldn't even read half the things that I was writing. But I don't know. I don't know why I have such bad penmanship. I just do, and I don't care to make it better. And I hate, maybe that's the problem, is because I love typing so much that like when I have to do things handwritten, I just get so lazy and I'm just like, let's just get this done as fast as I can. But anyway, that's my story. In a little bit here, we're going to jump into our next voices. You guys saw that I clicked on the wrong one, so the voices thing popped up, and I was like, well, we could do that, but I told them hot seat, so then I went back, and that's why you saw me going like, because it's just, click the wrong button, guys. All right. Nobody's handwriting is worse than my grandma's. That's true. Grandparents usually do have pretty bad handwriting. I think their thing is that like they try to mix in cursive. Like cursive was really big back in the day. I don't even know if they teach cursive anymore, but yeah, grandparents' handwriting is always really awful. Alan Cleveland, my father-in-law, Pastor Alan, he has very beautiful handwriting. He's left-handed. I'm also convinced that people who are left-handed have better handwriting. I don't know. But let's see what you guys are saying. Tommy, make a weird face. You trying to take a screen capture or something? Like my grandma was the best, and no, they don't teach. Yeah, it is interesting. I don't even like they don't teach sign or cursive, but you still have to sign your signature. So I don't know. Students are just gonna have to start learning how to scribble, I guess. Yes, Alan does have amazing handwriting, and for our birthdays, we always get a handwritten card from him, and it's so sweet. What else is going on with you guys? Did you tell me something? Well, you guys said in Montana. Was it the Melcheskis? Were you guys is that who said Montana? Who else has got some stuff going on? Fun fact, left-handed folks used to be considered sinister and untrustworthy. That is a fun fact. Trudy texted me that after our history thing last week, she said, thank you for doing history because now Brian keeps quoting history to me. So it's so good. That's too good. Tonight is Marvel. And okay, I Googled Marvel trivia, and then the second one that popped up was like it said complicated Marvel trivia. So I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to be complicated. I feel like I got maybe two of the 12 questions correct, but that's usually pretty standard for me in trivia. So we'll just see. Alex's roommate is left-handed and he has good handwriting. Okay. I'm flying to Texas next week, Friday. Texas is also on my list of places to go to. Where are you going in Texas? Do you recommend a specific city? I've always heard like Austin's a pretty cool place to go. But yeah, Montana, Texas, and then like maybe like Charleston. I feel like Charleston would have some pretty cool vibes going on. I don't even know how to say where you're going. San Antonio. All right, cool. You guys maybe just sometime you can just plan out my vacations for me and tell me where to go, and that could be sweet. Right now it feels a little like, I mean, yeah, you can go to parks and stuff and do a lot of hiking and walking, but I don't know how much is open as far as activities go. We were going to go to my our family cabin in Maine, but we're not doing that this year, at least not this summer. But we're doing a little getaway in 2 weeks, my wife and I. So that'll be sweet. Gonna just do a couple nights away, or it's kind of like a camping, although I'm really into glamping because I'm kind of a diva when it comes to camping. Like I like being outside, but I also like the luxuries that come with being inside, like things like running water. I know I'm crazy. So that's just a fun fact about me, is I like doing that. We are doing Star Wars Felicity. Star Wars is next week. That's the grand finale before we take a break for July. We're doing... Great, Tommy. I know, guys. I just told you. Yep, I told you a lot. That's very vulnerable information about me, all right? I was being very honest with you guys about my glamping. Have you watched the X-Men? I don't... Like the newer ones I haven't seen, but I've seen a lot of the older ones. But yes, I'm looking forward to next week's Star Wars between the battle Trudy, Spencer, Alex, and Brian, and a lot of you students who are very excited about it as well. It'll be maybe I'll have to like find a Star Wars themed prize, something really epic. Like I don't know, are Star Wars t-shirts cool? Or like, whoa, like a Star Wars beach blanket? Not that cool? I don't know. Let me know. Maybe like Star Wars sunglasses could be pretty cool. All right. Yes, t-shirts. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. I think Trudy was gonna help me with that, if I remember. Yes, I thought Lord of the Rings was more of your thing, Brian. Is the trivia based off of the movies? Okay, so this Marvel trivia is based off of the movies. Sorry. It'll like even give you the movie title. I went through a bunch of the different ones, and then yeah, so they're based off the movies. The one I'm curious to see if you guys can get is there's one question from the Incredible Hulk. Did they ever make an Incredible Hulk like actual solo movie with Mark? Is it Mark Ruffalo? Was that how you say his name? Or did they only do that in like the Avengers? I know they have Incredible Hulk movies. No, they never did. Yeah, I feel like that would have been a good one to do solo. The old ones weren't very good. I'm trying to remember who the people were. I think they did like 2 different Hulk movies with 2 different actors. Then they finally landed on Mark Ruffalo for the Avengers series, and he was way better. So I can't remember his name though. It's gonna drive me nuts. So if one of you remembers it or can Google it for me, let me know. Because I think one of them was kind of Edward Norton. Thank you, John Ruck. Aren't you traveling to Colorado right now? Are you hopefully at a rest stop or something? You're not. Mark Ruffalo's from Wisconsin. Cool. Ed Norton. Yep, that's who it was. I really like him. You're at a all right. Just don't want you to be like trying to text and drive, even though I'm guilty of it all the time. I can't promote that. Ethan is driving. Oh, okay. So I didn't see Ethan today. I thought I saw like Brant's car driving around, but then I'm like, no, Brant's not here. But then I don't remember what he has. I thought, does he have like a white Pontiac? Anyway, random thoughts in my life. Just because I really miss Brant, I think that's what it is. Anyway, guys, let's get to trivia. But before we get to trivia, let's jump in with our friend, Mr. Brian Wood, and his very thought-provoking message devotion on worship. So hopefully I can click this one right, or maybe we'll go into the hot seat. We'll see. I don't know.
Hey CSM, I am really excited to be able to share with you tonight. We will be talking about a particular topic that is really near and dear to my heart. And so to begin, when I was in 7th grade, I distinctly remember a particular thing happening, and that is I was going to church and I just made an observation. I was really confused isn't the right word, but I was really compelled by something. I don't know if you've been in this sort of situation where we go through the time of worship and music, and you have people are raising their hands and they're crying and they're just really there in the moment. And I mean, I'm a pastor's kid, right? I grew up in the church. I grew up believing a lot of this, and I wasn't there, right? I didn't get the whole emotion thing. Like, I mean, I got it, but I didn't get it. I wasn't really there. I didn't feel that. I was really I was compelled by that. I'm just like, how is it that someone can get to that level? I was really inspired by that ability, and maybe you're in that same boat, or maybe you're just like, man, what's wrong with them? There's something weird going on. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is, what is worship? What is it that makes people go to that level, and how can we become better worshipers is the question. And so that just naturally leads to a different question. What is worship? Why is it that we even do that as a part of a service and music, whether it be on Sunday mornings or whether it be on Wednesday nights for CSM? What is it, and why is that such a big deal? So let me begin with my definition. What is worship? Worship is the purposeful, sacrificial, devoted, and passionate response to who the Lord is and what he has done. So I know there's a lot there, so let's just break that down a little bit. So worship is purposeful, right? So we don't take it lightly. We are intentional and make a good use of that time. We treat the time with respect, because we find that it's actually worth the time to do it. So worship is purposeful. Worship is sacrificial, right? And so it means that we are willing to give something up for it. Now, what are we giving up? I mean, there are many possible things, and Scripture calls the words and the songs of our mouths the fruit of our lips, and we are called to give to the Lord the fruit of our lips. Practically, we also give up our time. We give up our money. Maybe we give up another activity that we may also enjoy, but that way we give that up so we can have more time worshiping God and spending time thinking about him and that sort of thing. Maybe when we're being sacrificial, we give up the fear of what others think of you if you were to react strongly in worship. There's a little bit of that. And everyone will sacrifice maybe different things, but worship is sacrificial. So it's purposeful, it's sacrificial, and it is devoted. And what does devoted mean in that sense? It means it's a commitment. It is a choice, a continual behavior and mentality. So worship is purposeful, worship is sacrificial, worship is devoted, and worship is passionate. Right? And so there are many ways that we show passion, right? So think about anyone that might apply to. It could be like super energetic. Think like sports fans, yeah, painting themselves and stuff like that. Think maybe emotional. People who are fighting for a cause, for example. You can be very passionate about that. Or maybe a passion and you have an intimate knowledge of things, right? So that could be, for example, knowing a lot of the little details that others may miss or may not know, such as maybe a geek, such as myself, knowing about Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or Harry Potter or things like that. We are passionate about these things, so we know a lot of those intimate little details. Worship is purposeful, sacrificial, devoted, and passionate. But it's also a verb. It's a response. And so what do we mean by that? It is an action that responds to the glory of God, either in seeing him as he truly is or in responding to what the Lord has already done. Now, this response can be through music and song, or through service and in ministering to other people, or through giving charitably and tithing, and so on. It goes on and on. In fact, we are commanded in Scripture to worship God in all of those ways, not just in one or a couple, but in all of these ways. We are commanded to do so. So a good way to think about it is think about the greatest commandment as defined by Jesus in the New Testament. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all of your strength. And he doesn't stop there. He says that the second greatest commandment is like it, in that we must also love our neighbors as ourselves. That all of the law and the prophets rest on those two commandments. Now, interestingly, that lines up pretty closely to worship, doesn't it? Right? That if we're loving the Lord with all of our heart, that definitely has that passion. With all of our soul, that is a devotion. With all of our mind, that is purposeful. And with all your strength, it is sacrificial. Worship is the purposeful, sacrificial, devoted, and passionate response to who the Lord is and what he has done. Now, if we are being honest with ourselves, we are not good at worship. Well, let me clarify. We are not good at worshiping God. We are very good at worshiping other things. John Calvin is a guy, and he described that the human heart is an idol factory. And I think that description is pretty accurate. I mean, look around you. We pump out idols in so many ways all the time. We worship celebrities and fame. We worship politicians and causes, video games and sports. We are quick to allow certain things to have control over our thoughts and how we spend our time and how we spend our money. We let our minds be dominated by these things, and that may indicate that these things are idols in our lives. So, the ultimate question for tonight is, now that we know what worship is, how do we become a better worshiper during and even after this COVID crisis has ended, when these lockdowns have ended? Number one is to be purposeful in your worship. So when entering a time of worship, clear your mind of distractions. Focus on who God is. Think about some of his attributes and what he cares about. Think about how he is pure and holy. Think about how he is faithful despite our own continual unfaithfulness to him. Think about how he is generous, how he is compassionate, that he is constantly looking for ways to show mercy and grace, that he is a healer of relationships, that he is all-powerful, that he is all-knowing, that he is all-loving, and so on. Turn your mind towards God, that you may begin to see him as he truly is. And here's the thing, every single time in Scripture that someone experienced the glory of God and begin to see him how he really is, no matter how little of a glimpse that was, every single time in Scripture, they all responded in worship. So, be purposeful. Don't let your mind wander into other areas instead. Be purposeful. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole shutdown has made this particular point really difficult, right? What was once a little easier because you had other folks there that could maybe help provide that reminder to enter in that time of worship because they're getting together on a Sunday or on Wednesday nights on a regular basis. It's now harder because I can't rely on other people to do that for me. I myself must make a point to be purposeful. So that's that first point. To be a better worshiper, you need to be purposeful. To be a better worshiper, then you also need to be sacrificial in your worship, right? So as you enter into a time of worship, what makes you hold back? Could it be fear of what other people think? Questions? Doubts? Desiring the attention of a certain someone else in the audience? It could be dreaming about other plans that you have made for the weekend. Maybe sins in your life that you haven't dealt with and you're just allowing to fester in your heart. Only you and God know the true idols in your heart. Be willing to give them up so that you have nothing else holding you back. So be sacrificial, right? So we become better worshipers when we are purposeful. We become better worshipers when we are sacrificial. And you probably know where I'm going with this. Then you are a better worshiper when you become more devoted in your worship. And so be honest with yourself. How are you spending your time during the week? Do you look for ways to worship in more than just in songs and more than just on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday nights, perhaps? The people who have learned to worship well worship daily. And maybe you aren't particularly musical, right? That's okay. That is okay. We can worship God with more than just music, but we are still called to worship anyway. So being devoted in our worship is one of those hardest things to do, right? It's really difficult. Well, here's the thing. Being more purposeful in our times of worship helps us be more sacrificial because we're choosing to say yes to God and no to the things that distract us. And giving up those things is what it means to sacrifice. And so as we practice being sacrificial, then it then helps us become more devoted. They all work together and feed into each other because the more devoted you are, the more purposeful you become in your worship. Now, it can be really hard, especially if, let's say, what if I don't like the songs that we're singing? This is a common thing. The songs that we sing during worship times in a service, whether it is virtually or in person, these are ultimately just tools that we use to focus our minds and let the lyrics speak our words of praise and our words of sadness and mourning over our sinfulness, or our celebration of God's grace, or our wonderment at God's majesty. All kinds of emotion are appropriate in worship. And interestingly, even a solemn, respectful silence can be appropriate at times. So, for example, I found myself being purposefully quiet because I was finding that I'd be singing probably for the wrong reasons, right? Either to impress myself or try to impress God with my nice harmonies, for example, right? Or maybe there's a line or two in a song that you may not agree with or maybe not understand. And instead of maybe complaining about the singer's voice or the missed chord on a guitar or how maybe a certain part just gets so repetitive and repetitive and repetitive, instead, focus on what is worthy of praising God about in the song. Now remember my thought at the beginning. How does someone get to that point to raise your hands in worship and cry and cheer? How is it that people like that can be so passionate? you'll find that as you do these things, being purposeful, being sacrificial, being devoted, you will naturally begin to be more passionate in your worship. Consider a parable that Jesus shared in Luke chapter 7, starting in verse 41 through 47. Just in case you're not familiar with it, a sinful woman comes into a Pharisee's house, a guy named Simon, and Jesus is dining with him, and they're talking about all kinds of things. And this woman comes and just starts crying and wiping Jesus' feet with her hair and her tears and using perfume. There's many similar stories in the different Gospels. This is one of those. And so Jesus, is sharing this as Simon is kind of recoiling, being like, if he was really a man of God, he would know what kind of woman is touching him, because she was very sinful, right? She was a prostitute and so on. And so Jesus shares this particular parable. He says this: a certain moneylender had 2 debtors. One owed 500 denarii and the other 50. When they could not pay, he canceled the debt of both. Now which of them will love him more? Simon answered, the one, I suppose, for whom he canceled the larger debt. And he said to him, you have judged rightly. Then turning toward the woman, he said to Simon, do you see this woman? I entered your house. You gave me no water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You gave me no kiss, but from the time I came in she has not ceased to kiss my feet. You did not anoint my head with oil, but she has anointed my feet with ointment. Therefore I tell you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But he who is forgiven little loves little. You see, this woman's response was purposeful. It was sacrificial. It was devoted. It was passionate. That was her response. How do we respond? How do you respond? Maybe you are here tonight watching this live stream and you find yourself loving little. Could it be that you struggle to respond in worship because you have not yet experienced the joy of God's forgiveness? Your debt is paid. Yours. It does not matter what is behind that sin debt. It is paid. Come, worship the King. Because he chose to suffer. He chose for you. And here's the thing about Jesus in that particular sense. Jesus' sacrifice on the cross 2,000 years ago was in fact an act of worship to the Father. He was purposeful. He was sacrificial. He was devoted. And he was passionate. Maybe you're like me and you find it difficult to be purposeful in your worship. There's an old song that goes, turn your eyes upon Jesus, and the things of earth will go strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Maybe you also find it difficult to be sacrificial in your worship. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, and you will find that he is better than whatever else that competes for your attention. Maybe you find it difficult to be devoted in your worship. Turn your eyes upon Jesus and be inspired by his example to engage with God daily and not just when it is convenient. Turn your eyes upon Jesus and you will become a better worshiper of God. So let me close with this encouragement from Romans chapter 12, verse 1, where it says, I appeal to you, therefore, my brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. say this again. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies, purposeful, as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. So worship is the purposeful, sacrificial, devoted, and passionate response to who the Lord is and what he has done. I'll pray. Lord, you are good, you are great, and you are merciful. Thank you for who you are. Thank you that you do not judge us for our performance, that we are not here to impress you, but rather, Lord, that you desire to sing with us and to sing over us, that we might engage with you, the living God, today. Lord, would you give us boldness and wisdom to chase after you and to let go of those things that are holding us back from worshiping you more in the way that you deserve to be worshipped. Would you be with us tonight and the rest of this week as we engage with the world around us, with our family, with our friends? You are worthy of our praise and our honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Brian Wood, for sharing that. That was amazing. Yes, fantastic job, Brian. I think, Brian had asked he gave me a few different topics to talk about tonight. And we kind of actually meshed almost all of them into one because I think, and a lot of what you guys were saying in this chat is right on that worship isn't always just singing. It's things that are, like Alex said, through felt prayer and quiet contemplation. It's not about the tone of your voice. It's not about the people around you. If you are in worship, you are in communion with God. And yes, we do it together as a body, but not because we're worried about distracting somebody else, but because it's a beautiful moment when we can do that as one body. And if the person next to you is worshiping, then they're not distracted by your worship. But sometimes that's easier said than done because we all still battle insecurities. And for me, growing up, one of my biggest insecurities when it came to corporate worship, when it came to singing and praying, I did not like singing out loud. I did not like praying out loud. And I found those things very difficult to do because I was insecure about the tone of my voice or the things that I was going to say wrong in a prayer. And as I got older, I just learned that it's different. I got distracted for a second because I started reading everybody saying night. And I was like, wait, is everybody leaving right now? And then I realized that you're voting in this poll that I forgot I even put up. So that was funny. I was like, okay. Anyway, yes. Yes, Lena, I see you said Tommy a few times. I just say what you're gonna ask instead of because I see the chat. What can I do for you? You should have put all the all right. 1 second there, Lena. That work for you? All the above. I am definitely a afternoon. Well, it's hard. I mean, once we had kids, everything kind of changed because I would have said I was a night person, and then I was a none of the above person. But I think I've kind of gotten back to the night, probably most awake. But magic. Anyway. Brian, amazing job. Thank you again. Next week, I think we have Jack Hilbrand closing us out. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what he wants to share as well. And then I'll keep you guys posted as far as what July looks like for events. And then August, We'll either keep events going, or we'll come back to live, or we'll get ready for in-person stuff on a more consistent level. We'll know more as things happen. Jill, that's called insomnia. That's funny. So guys, let's head into trivia, huh? Let's play some Marvel trivia because I've been talking enough. All right, hold on. Here we go. Let me just clear this stuff, get things set up here. Gotta move this over. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second. It's fine. I also am curious to explore, like, this was cool. But if we go back to online stuff for other reasons, I'd like to be able to find, like, trivia has been fun, but I'd also like to find other gaming options. And this one is just nice because it's all kind of built in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm always open for new stuff or new suggestions. So, but trivia's been fun. It's been fun to try. Now that I've been doing like, I'm so going to fail trivia. Now that I've been doing like specific theme trivia, it's actually, I kind of like it because for a while I was trying to like find this balance, and I feel like now it's easier to do this. All right, I gotta check my phone. Looks like it's going. All right, mine says it's starting now. Oh, there's the camera that way. Oh, it bumped up to 2 seconds. All right, make sure you guys have tapped up to live. You're ready to go. Iron Man, what song plays at the beginning of the movie? Iron Man by Black Sabbath, Back in Black by AC/DC, Ordinary World, or Stairway to Heaven. You're just clicking 1, 2, 3, or 4. And you can wait to see what everybody else does, but you might not win because fastest right answer is usually the winner. Refresher, if we have a tie, it's the top 3 that are tied. If it's a clear winner, then it's a clear winner. Guys, with next week being our last week, I would love some more student videos. So if you guys want to send me a TikTok or shout out video or something. Let's make the last one. Well, I shouldn't say the last one forever, but the last one for a minute. We'll take a minute break. Let's make it really cool. Sweet. All right. Back in Black. Yep. The Incredible. All right. Here's the Incredible Hulk question. What does Tony tell? I don't know. Is it Thaddeus Ross? I think, or someone probably is like, that's not how you say it. At the end of the film, that he owes him money, that he wants to study the Hulk, that they are putting a team together, that he knows about S.H.I.E.L.D. What do you think? Anybody out there know if I said his name right? 3 seems to be the popular answer, that they're putting a team together. You know, that one didn't seem too challenging of a question when they label the trivia like super challenging. And then I'm like, well, knowing even a little bit about Avengers, the putting a team together just kind of makes sense. And it looks like you guys agree because everybody has picked 3. All right, bye, Melchesky girls. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we ran a little late on the trivia tonight because I was just chatting, but it's been fun hanging out. Have a good night. We'll see you next week online, and then hopefully in July. Thor. What does Thor want another of when he's in the diner? Does he want another stack of pancakes, a slice of pie, a piece of toast, a cup of coffee? Believe this is the original Thor. The first one. How many Thors are there? Are there like 3? Is Ragnarok, is that how you say it? Is that the latest one? There's like, I don't know. Anyway, don't actually write the number 3 because, I probably just screwed that one up for you because now you're going to write it and then, all right, yeah, go back to the right answer. Yeah, nice. That's how you got to type it out. Ragnarok. The answer is a cup of coffee. Let's see. Hopefully it didn't throw off your answer and you still got it right, but that's my bad. I threw you. Nope, it still got your answer correct. You don't even know, you're just picking 3. The Avengers. Natasha remarks to Clint that the Battle of New York is a lot like what? Now, this one seemed a bit tricky. This one, I would say I wouldn't know the answer to. Although, I would also say I didn't know the answer to most of them. So, you guys are thinking their time in Budapest. These are all really easy. All right, Aurora. Well, I hope you win because I would love to deliver you some candy. Budapest, is that what it is? Is that what I might as well pick 3 throughout the entire game? Well, could be a good strategy. You and I remember Budapest very differently. Is that the quote back? Wow, you guys know your Avengers. What's the best Marvel movie? Oh, 3. All right, guys, I'm just saying, I clicked on. So this is why I don't trust myself with Star Wars, because I need a true Star Wars fan to tell me. I never saw Captain Marvel. I didn't know. Endgame was pretty sweet. I did like Spider-Man. Into the Spider-Verse. That was pretty cool. Thor: The Dark World. Where do Sif and Volstagg hide the Reality Stone at the end of the movie? Oh, I did know this one. I knew the answer to this one. They give it to the Collector. The Collector's super creepy looking. I've only seen Captain Marvel. Unfortunately, Lena, there are no Captain Marvel questions in this one. What does GOTG mean? Either the Avengers or Captain America Winter. Oh, Captain America Winter Soldier was really good. It had a really interesting plot twist. Who's saying bye? Are you leaving, Trudy? Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. What were the 3 items Rocket claims he needs in order to escape the prison? Has it been like a tie this whole time? Are you guys all getting things correct? Huh. A security band, a battery, and a prosthetic leg. That's what you guys think is the answer, number 2. Oh no, Brian, did you get the answer wrong? So far, I only copied answers from people twice. Thank you for your honesty, Spencer. I appreciate that. All right, we got some separation here. Number 2 was the correct answer. Ant-Man, what animal does Darren Cross unsuccessfully shrink? Mouse, duck, hamster, or sheep? What'd you guys think of Ant-Man? I thought it was okay. I like Paul Rudd, but I wasn't like sold on the movie. So then when Ant-Man versus Wasp came out, I never even saw it because I just was like, nah. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, that's probably not in your generation as students, but leaders, you probably have seen it. And I felt like the first one was awesome. And then the rest kind of were just like, meh. The second was way better. All right. Well, when you say it in all caps with an exclamation point, not a good comparison. Why not, Trudy? It's all about getting shrunk. Either Ant-Man shrinks or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Sheep. Lena, that 3 isn't working out too well for you. Captain America Civil War. Who isn't on Iron Man's team? Who is it? Vision, Hawkeye, Black Panther, or Black Widow? Brian thinks 4. Interesting. Trick question. Maybe that's what makes this one challenging. This one is debatable. It's technically Black Widow 2, though. Interesting. So they are going to say the answer is Hawkeye. Why? So why? What makes Black Widow? What? Explain this to me. Was Black Widow in the movie, or was she not even in the movie? Is that why? I think she changes sides and she betrays. Ah, interesting. That was a trick question then. Doctor Strange. What type of doctor is Stephen Strange? Lena, go with number 3 on this one. Plastic surgeon for sure. I was gonna see if anybody's out there spying on me. Neurosurgeon. That is going to be the answer. What a cheater, Tommy. I know. She did. She had already said 3, and all of you guys had picked 3. Although Harrison says yes. I don't. Maybe it doesn't show me all the answers because people say they lost, but I don't see everybody's answers. I'm always paranoid when it comes to scaring people because I like scaring people, but I don't like getting scared. But I do like getting scared. It's like a rush. Black Panther. I'm not even going to say that name. What do Killmonger and Claw steal from the Museum of Great Britain? Aurora, I love how confident you are in this. I hope you win. I hope you come out 12 for 12. I wouldn't pick 3 again in this one, Lena, but you can for sure. I think it's number 4. Just kidding. Is it number 2? You guys all picked number 2. Wakanda. Oh no, it wouldn't let you correct the first one. Dang. All right. Well, maybe someone else missed one too and you'll tie. Yeah, could be a tie. Infinity War. What elective class did Thor take on Asgard? Oh yeah, that was funny. I don't know what happened in Ragnarok and on. They changed Thor's character to be super funny. He is for sure. Once those movies hit, he became my favorite character. It just was. He was so funny all the time, and then the way they put him in that fat suit, too good. Learning to speak Groot. Is that the answer? Stole a third. Ragnarok is not the worst Thor movie. Oh my goodness, Brian. This is where we disagree. We've agreed on so much up until now. This is the saddest one, guys. I had to end with a sad one. What is the final line before she sacrifices herself? Dark World is the worst. Thank you. Thank you, Aurora. You and I agree. Dark World, I didn't even understand it as I'm watching it. It was just like, what? This movie's dumb. Ragnarok, I laughed the whole time. It was awesome. I thought, wow, finally a Thor movie that I really like. Although the first one was good because it was just, I feel like every first one is usually pretty good, except for the Hulk. They really messed it up on the Hulk. Dark World, yeah, I agree, Harrison. Thank you. Ooh, Alex calling out Spencer. All right, here we go. The last answer is it's okay. Oh. Whoa. Where's Aurora? Aurora, you got 2 wrong. Even if I would have given you that other one, you got 1 more wrong. Well, actually, no. So I would have given you the one that would have brought you to 12. Dang. But they still placed you. She says, let me go then. It's okay. Which one did you get wrong, Aurora? Vivian says she got none wrong, and yet... Oh, yeah, she's number 7. Well, Trudy went 12 for 12. Yeah, see, it's hard. So there's 7 of you that are technically winners, but I have to just go with... I have to go... Brenda, is that you or Aubrey or Ethan? Or all of you? Which Pinkerton is it actually? Because sometimes I know that people use different accounts. I'm guessing it's not Ethan because it is Ethan. Because you usually got some jokes, but I didn't see any jokes tonight. All right. Ethan, congratulations. Just Ethan, don't worry. I'm not worried. Channing, also number 1. And Felicity. Looks like I gotta make another trip out with some more Skittles. Good game, everyone. All right. Ethan, Channing, and Felicity, do you like chocolate candy? You don't get to pick the candy, but you can tell me if you like chocolate candy or fruity candy. Which one would you prefer? Aubrey's had to quit the trivia because she didn't watch them all. Yeah, that's fair. So you guys let me know in this chat. I can't, yeah. Chocolate? Harrison likes chocolate, but that's not what Channing... I do care, Harrison. I do, but Channing's the winner here. Chocolate. All right, chocolate. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. It's late already. Well, not really late, but just because, I mean, I've said 8 in the past, but Channing's down with whatever. All right, let me pray, and then you guys can get out of here. Father, thank you for this night. Thank you for summer and the warm weather. Even though some people like the cold weather, I am excited to be outside. And I'm just thankful for the beauty that you've given us in creation. God, as we leave here tonight, I could pray for the rest of our weeks that you continue to give us guidance and wisdom in how to best lead people, but yet continue to teach us how it looks to worship you. God, allow our insecurities to not get in the way of worshiping you. And God, will we continue to give you our full worship and not the things of this world. In your name I pray. Amen. All right, folks. Peace.